I want to be referred to as the greatest person, at least of my generation, you would say.
I met a gypsy.
One of my theories on it is like, so I spent my whole life riding dirt bikes, and I was just never good. So like, my brother races professionally in Australia, and he rips it up. And we rode the same day. We literally did everything the same. One year we even had the same bike that I'd get off and he'd get on, and vice versa. So it's like, how did two kids from the same parents on the same bike, like everything was the same, and he just crushed it. So it's like, in my head, I feel like, say me and you are going down a freeway, we're both doing 100. Does 100 feel the same to me as it does to you because you can go fast? Or does 100 feel both the same and you just push fear aside and just say, fuck it, like I'm just pinning it? So like, you know what I mean? Do you think that people differ in how they see speed?
Like you said, with with two people growing up the same and not, going through the same routines and not coming out the same, I think I have two theories. I think for one, that you have to be born with it. You do have to have something special in your, I don't think everybody has that. I don't think you can take somebody, I don't think you can take any child and let's say there was this perfect formula to make a champion. I don't think if you took 8 children and you put them through the same test, they ate the same through their entire life, I don't think they're all going to turn out the same. I think for one, it takes the genetic ability to do it, that mental side that you are born with. But I also think that there's people that have have all that don't use it. I think it's definitely, you can throw it away. I think you can see it with a bunch of guys in a bunch of different sports. I think you can see that, that ability, and you see flashes of brilliance here, so they can do it, but they can never seem to put it together over a long period of time. And I think you do have to be genetically gifted, and you have to make that decision in your mind to whether you are going to use it and you are going to put yourself through the stress it takes to be, the best guy all the time.
I like to think that there's a thing called like a baseline for reality, right? So when Ricky was born, his baseline for what was possible on a dirt bike was Jeff Stanton, John Michelle Bale, those dudes. Your baseline for reality is Ricky, James. So then at 10 years old or 9 years old, you're emulating what those dudes are doing, and then it kind of progresses from there. So like, how much do you think that influences like what you just saw was possible?
I think the brain naturally only sets a goal to what has been accomplished before. I mean, I could say, Ricky has, I think, 15 championships. I could say I want to win 16, but I don't really even know if that's possible. All I know is that Ricky's won 15 championships, and that's the most there's ever been. So I think growing up, like I said, your brain can only reach as far as what's been accomplished. So that was always the goal. It was, if you ask any real, any serious amateur kid at the time, I just want to be Ricky. You want to be Ricky, and then I think some kids, as they get older, they realize, how hard that is, and it's not, it's not what they thought. And some people make the decision, they lower the standards for yourself. But for me, and it continues to be, the goal is to be as good as Ricky. That's just, whether I am or not, in the end of it all, it's always going to be my goal is to be the greatest. I want to be referred to as the greatest person, at least of my generation, you would say. I think there's greatness in different times. I think it's, like you said, it raises the bar. You had Jeff Stanton, you had Jeff Ward, you had all those guys that were winning all these races, and that was great. And then, Ricky Carmichael came along, and then now that's great. Now Ryan Villopoto's come along, and now that's great. And everybody's always reaching for the top guy in the sport, and I think it continues to evolve over time.